Usually I'm trying to take less stuff, not more. But there are a few key items that often get overlooked, but you should never hike without. This is gear that everyone needs, but no one takes. And now's your chance to drop down in the comments and say, well, I always take these things. It's hyperbole, people. It's okay. Backup water treatment. Look, clean water is probably the most important thing that you will need on a hike. And the water filters we take are great, but they aren't foolproof. They can clog, break, freeze, and leave you without clean drinking water. The good news is most people already have a backup system in their pack. Boiling water kills most of the bacteria and parasites found in wild mountain streams, making it safe to drink. But it uses more fuel than you probably need for cooking, not drinking. Not to mention it takes a long time before boiling water is cool enough to drink. So I always throw in a few of these water treatment tablets because they weigh practically nothing and they take up very little space. That way, if my filter ever breaks, I know I can still get clean water. Extra socks. Look, I don't take two of anything, but I do take 2 pairs of socks. Nothing in your kit is working harder than your socks, and no one piece of gear will get crustier and smellier than your socks. Not to mention, socks often get wet from water crossings, rain, or even snow. And at the end of the day, it's always nice to have a clean, dry pair of socks. In fact, putting on a clean pair of socks is one of the things I look forward to the most when I'm on the trail. A chair. Okay, maybe you don't need a chair, but man, they sure are nice. A pillow. Okay, I'm really not joking on this one. A pillow is the one thing that has improved my sleep the most in the backcountry. And I know what you're thinking. Just shove some extra clothes into a stuff sack and call it a night. Look, don't do that to yourself. Take an actual pillow. You deserve it. In fact, I have a whole video about it that I'll link down in the comments below. Inflatable pillows aren't much better unless you like the idea of sleeping on a balloon. And down pillows are too soft. My head sinks right through them. That's why I use the Nemo Pillow, because it's the best of both. An inflatable pillow that won't collapse and a 1-inch foam top for comfort. A poop trowel. Look, 4 to 6 inch cat holes are essential to the health and well-being of the streams that we're drinking out of. I get too many comments saying that they don't take a trowel and just use a rock or the heel of their shoe or just finding a stick to dig a cat hole with. Look, you can't dig a proper cat hole without a trowel, and to prove it, I'm gonna try to dig one right now using just this stick. And while I do it, I need to tell you about today's sponsor. Look at that, I already broke the stick. Moose Jaw. Okay, new stick. Moose Jaw has pretty much all the gear you need to go backpacking, mountain climbing, skiing, mountain biking, pretty much anything that you want to do outdoors, Moose Jaw has the gear to do it. And if you join the rewards program, you can get 10% back on purchases that can be spent on your very next purchase. I just broke my second stick. Let me go find one more stick. No need to wait till spring to get your dividend. I just broke my 3rd stick. It's the roots. You see, that's the reason why you need a trowel, because the roots, the sticks, can't get through the roots. You see this trowel? It's got a serrated edge that helps you get through the roots. Anyways, check out Moose Jaw. Use code MLOMJ for an additional 10% off just for being a viewer of this channel. Check them out through the links in the description. Thank you, Moose Jaw, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so in the end, I was able to get a pretty decent cat hole with a stick, but not without using my hands to get the extra sand out of the hole. And the area that I'm in, it's got pretty sandy soil that's easy to dig. So I don't know, maybe you'll be fine with just a stick in some areas, but do us all a favor and just take a trowel, because if you don't bury human waste properly, it can easily wash into the rivers and streams that you and I want to drink out of. Not to mention, it's gross to flip over a rock and find someone else's business, so just take the trowel. Okay, seriously, have you tried a chair? Maybe I'm not joking. You do need a chair. A bear bag, canister, or sack. I recently did a video talking about how I don't take bear spray anymore, and part of this is due to the research from Yosemite National Park, who has banned bear spray despite the fact that they have bears. Part of their reasoning is that if you practice proper bear etiquette, you won't need bear spray. And a huge piece of that etiquette is food storage. In places like Yosemite, you're required to have a bear canister like the Bear Vault 450 or the Backpacker's Cache, because black bears bears that don't become accustomed to humans remain afraid of humans and can be easily scared away. Outside of the Yosemite, it's common practice to just hang your food, which is fine except for all the reasons I talk about in this video right here, which is why I prefer the Sack, which is basically like a Kevlar bag that has been proven to adequately be bear resistant. No matter what you choose, a food hang, a canister, an Sack, just make sure you're protecting your food. And last but not least is a mosquito head net. If you have ever been in an area where the mosquitoes are bad, then you know sometimes bug spray just won't cut it. And you need extra protection of a head net. There are so many mosquitoes that it is difficult to do anything. They're in our tent, they're swarming around me right now. I mean, anything that you try to do as I'm filming, like even as I'm trying to get like footage of beautiful scenery and stuff like that, I'm worried about how many mosquitoes are flying in front of the lens. They're biting our hands, our arms, through our shirt. It's ridiculous. And it's making the trip very, very difficult. It's one of those things that you might not always use, but when you do, you will be glad you have it. And yes, I realize if you saw last week's video, I sound like a hypocrite right now. Look, everyone has to make their own choices. These are just the ones that I've made for myself that I thought you might want to know about. Thank you, Moose Jaw, for sponsoring this video. Please like, subscribe, and do all those other things. And as always, thanks for watching. This could be the worst mosquito situation that I've ever experienced.